Hey, it's Catherine from CatherinePuller.com, and this is my card from last week. If you missed the video, I'll put a link to it in the description below the video on YouTube. And I got a question asking how I made this butterfly, so let me show you. First, let me talk to you a little bit. We have vellum paper and vellum cardstock. Can you see there is a big difference? This is way more flimsy. It's about as translucent, but the cardstock is much heavier, much thicker, and just holds up much better on your project. So I love vellum cardstock, and I think you will too if you get some. When I made my butterfly, I wanted to make it sparkly, so I took some dazzling details and I just lightly spread some on. I didn't put a ton. I didn't want my butterfly to get too wet and take too long to dry, because even though I did tell you this is really heavy and thick and nice, and it doesn't curl up so much like paper does on your projects, when you get it wet like I am now, it will curl up, so be careful about that. So you can see I have some really nice glitter and shimmer on the butterfly now, so I'm just going to set this aside while I work on the rest of the card. Today we're going to do a kiss card, and kiss cards always start out with a half sheet of cardstock folded in half, and then I have a piece of designer series paper. This is 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm just going to take this, I'm going to use my Adorning Accents edgelets to cut the bottom of my designer series paper. Now when I cut this, I want to make sure I leave enough room on the bottom for my greeting, and you'll see what I mean once I put this together. To hold your edgelet in place, you can use a post-it note. When you have a cute post-it note like this, it makes it more fun. Well, that'll stay in place there now while I run this through the Big Shot. Now before I put this away, I'm going to do something else to fancy it up. I'm going to open my platform to tab 1, and I have a little embossing folder here, and this is the same shape as the edgelet that I just used. And we're just going to line this up just like that. And if you want to make sure that stays in place also, you can again use your post-it note. When you pull that out of your embossing folder, you see this really nice embossed line that lines up perfectly with your edge. I'm going to stamp my greeting, and I'm going to use my Stamp-A-Majig for perfect placement here. I'm going to take one of the butterfly stamps from this stamp set, and in Crumb Cake, I just want it really light, kind of as just a subtle background. I add a little adhesive to the back of my designer series paper piece, add that to the front, and then we'll adhere the butterfly. Now with mini glue dots, you're going to want to keep your roll covering all the unused glue dots and just peel one back at a time. That way your glue dots won't get sticky all over the place in the box and make a mess. And just pull a glue dot off with the piece that you're adhering. Now this vellum, you can see that glue dot through. We're going to cover that right up with a rhinestone. Now that I'm pretty much done with my card, I'm realizing that I do want a little bit of ribbon on here, so I have some pink taffeta. And if you are not subscribed to my newsletter list yet, you want to make sure you hop over to CatherinePuller.com. On the front page is the first video in my series called The Top 10 Things Every Stamper Needs to Know. You're going to learn how to tie a flat knot, not like this because this is a bow and it's not flat at all, and I'm going to have to play with it. But you'll learn a whole lot more things once you subscribe to that newsletter. You'll get all 4 videos in the series, and then you'll get 3 to 4 emails a month with tutorials and fun stuff. So after playing around with that bow for a while, I decided a knot was going to do for today. It just wasn't working out for me. So I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. And if you are looking to take your paper crafting to the next level and learn tons and tons of great information about paper crafting and see lots of inspiration in projects, you're going to want to join Stamp Nation. There's over 300 video tutorials there and an awesome group of women all committed to becoming great paper crafters. So I invite you to join us. Click the link below the video on YouTube to learn more about it, and I hope to see you there. Have a great day.